My issue with black men, we're the only men I know of who goes on the internet, disrespects, degrades, and chastises their women in front of the whole world. I've never seen a Chinese man on the internet say, I want nothing to do with Chinese women. I've never seen a Jewish man on the internet say, Jewish women are worth nothing. I've never heard that. I've never seen an East Indian go on Twitter and do a 5-hour live on how much he hates East Indian women. We are the only men in this country who will publicly insult our women, do it gladly, and do it for fun. And here's what I'm going to say to black men.
Real quick before he says that, my only issue with black women is that they're the only group of women that I've seen before the internet for the last 50 years say that they were strong, independent, and didn't need no man. I have never seen a Middle Eastern woman, an Asian woman, Indian, Hispanic. I have never seen these women publicly chastise, publicly degrade, publicly disrespect their men the way that I've seen black women do it. You hear how that sounds? Now, there's truth to what he's saying, and there's a lot of truth to what I'm saying. But you see how it's automatically being framed as if black men are the problem, like it's black men's fault? And why is that? Because you can go online right now for yourself and look up Dr. Umar going off on a woman, calling her fishy coochie, calling her all types of names, everything but a child of God, saying that all she was calling her Kansas City throat goat. Because I guess she gave him some head, and then she, according to him, lied and said that he went down on her, and he did a whole long rant about how terrible her box smelled, and was also putting her on blast because allegedly she stole money from him and stole money from the FDMG school that he now says is about to be up and running. And that's a valid reason to crash out. But this is the Prince of Pan-Africanism. I call him the Prince of Pandering, to be completely honest. Because you say all these things, and there's nothing wrong with uplifting your sisters, but to put black men, the very black men that you need their help to facilitate this thing that we call society, especially black society, to put us down and say that, oh, we disrespect our women and ignore the 50, 60 years of our women disrespecting us, whether it's outward disrespect or choosing feminism or choosing to replace the black men in their lives that they expect to provide and protect them with the government, welfare, police. If you're going to acknowledge one side of the BS spectrum, acknowledge all sides of it. I'm not even saying he's 100% wrong, but what other groups of women treat their men like they don't belong to them the way that we've seen in our community?
How dare you? How dare you criticize the black woman for not being treated like a king when you are not taking care of your kingdom? You got young black men crashing out all over Atlanta. What are black men doing about it? How many independent schools we got in Atlanta? Why we ain't got more? Do we have an independent black hospital in Atlanta? Are black men actively building the kingdom that they claim to be king of?
Now, when black men did have that kingdom and the black community did have that kingdom, let's not sit here and act like racist government agencies did not work to destroy it. Black Wall Street was not only in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's been a bunch of Black Wall Streets all over this country. Black people were thriving very well, even after slavery, Jim Crow, civil rights era. We was doing our thing. What happened? Go back into and do your history. These black men did not just up and leave their families voluntarily. I think it was a mixture of feminism. I think it was a mixture of the pressures that society put on black men in terms of just, economics, mass incarcerations, employment opportunities, educational opportunities being taken away from us, given disproportionately to our women, especially during the rise of feminism, which made the black household unbalanced and disproportionate. I think all of those things are a factor. I think that black men aren't absolved of any of this accountability as well. I think that black men, generally speaking, did their job to the best of their abilities, but I do believe that the system worked against them. But when it comes down to things of this nature, I mean, as a man, I would say ultimately the onus is on us, because we are supposed to be the leaders and we're supposed to be the providers and the protectors. So we're supposed to be in charge of how our household is ran and facilitated. But when you literally have a system that goes back to slavery that held us down, like nowadays, it's no excuse. It's no excuse nowadays. I'm talking about what happened over the last half of a century. Nowadays, we have the information, we have the technology, we have all these different ways. And yes, racism has not disappeared. It still exists. There's still going to be processes in order that keep us down. But we have a lot more information and we have a lot more opportunities now than we previously had. And we need to be utilizing and facilitating them, instead of out here being ratchet and YNs. This is why we get so mad at these old ass 50-year-old rappers still beefing like they 20 years old, because it's like, not only are y'all older, but y'all are rich. If not wealthy, y'all are rich. Y'all are well off. Y'all are doing pretty good for yourself. And you're supposed to be an example of how a black person in that position should facilitate themselves, their life, their family, their community. I'm not saying you got to be perfect. You now got to be an upright, upstanding model citizen all the way across the board. Nobody's perfect. But I do agree with Umar in that regard. However, I don't like the pandering. I don't like the one-sided blame game. I don't like the one-way aggression. That this is not, he's saying this like, oh, we the only ones that do it on social media. What about the years before social media? What about before the internet? What about the disrespect that's been going on? And it hasn't just been from black women. It's been from black men as well. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and act like we ain't hear bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks back in the early 90s. That's existed. But the accountability has always been one way, and that's towards us. Ask a Brother podcast, Jeff St. James, he asked a very excellent question. He said, if we can't hold black women accountable, then who can?
So you want black women to kiss your ass?
Actually, the question was, why can't we hold black women accountable, but they can hold us accountable? And who can hold them accountable?
And you're not even taking care of the kingdom. Where the jobs at for our children? Why we got so many homeless babies running around? Even if you claim you hate black women, what about the children? They belong to us. Black men are supposed to be the protectors and providers of the village.
Well, how do you protect and provide a village that's incentivized women to just up and leave because they don't feel that he's ambitious enough, or that he's strong enough, or that he's... I mean, even in the comment section that I found this video on Instagram, my initial response was the same question I asked earlier. What other races of women have been saying they strong, independent, and don't need no man? And the amount of women that came underneath my comment and said, y'all men are weak, you're not strong, you're not providers, but we're the ones that say negative things. All I asked was, these other races of women, since he's bringing them up, they don't say these things about their male counterparts, but that's what we in our community have been hearing for the last half a century. And that's the response that I got. Majority of the women were talking down on us the same way that he claims that only we talk down on our women. You see what I'm saying?
When was the last time we came together as men, whether it be Atlanta, whether it be Fort Lauderdale, Philadelphia, Oakland, Houston, Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Nashville? When is the last time black men came together as a group and said, we're going to take back our community? They don't even talk about building anything. I see these fake Negroes on the internet disrespecting black women and won't have one conversation about building a bank. Won't have one conversation about building a community security force. How you got a whole show on how black women are not what you need them to be when you are not what the community needs you to be?
Well, I think I could speak to that, and I could see that. Like, if you focusing all your attention on what black women aren't doing. Well, what are you doing? Well, here's what we're doing. When we're trying to have these conversations, it's not about putting black women down. It's about addressing the behavior and addressing the deficiency that goes on in our community. This is why Kevin Samuels was so widely spread, because what he was trying to do is he was trying to get the black community back married together. The foundation of any community is family. And when you have women that are incentivized to leave their family, only 50% of divorces last beyond 5 years, and 80% of the time, I said 50% of divorces, 50% of marriages last beyond 5 years, and 80% of the times the divorce is initiated by the woman. So how can we have a community without family? How can we have family without women actually staying with the men? And no, it's not because the men are abusive, the men are cheaters. There might be a small percentage of it. But go look at the statistics yourself and see what the reasons is. Irreconcilable differences, no fault divorce. I think the number one reason for problems in the marriage statistically is supposed to be what? Finances. Y'all have to understand that this was all done by design. And I'm not even mad at saying that as a black man, we have to work harder. But when we have the whole world telling us that it's supposed to be our woman that has our back, our woman that's our peace, not a woman that says, "Oh yeah, I held him down for 3 months, but then I just wanted more. I couldn't do it by myself. I couldn't do it." So you chose to wreck your own home and do it on your own. So now instead of working one job while he works two, now you have to work two. And he has to work. Make it make sense. Let me ask y'all something. AI taking jobs, layoffs normal, companies cutting people like it's a haircut special. So what's the backup plan? What if your money could clock in so you don't have to? Today's sponsor is replaceyouриncome.com. This isn't day trading. This isn't buy random stocks and pray. This is a strategy focused on selling stock options, meaning the goal is to make money if a stock goes up, down, or even stays the same. That's different. They send real-time trade alerts. There's a 1-hour masterclass explaining the strategy step by step, and it only takes 15 minutes a day to execute. No meetings, no selling products, no DMing 20 people, just trades. Now, here's the part I like. You can try for $1 for the first month. Go through the full course, see the trades, decide if it's for you. If it's not, cancel. If it is, you just found another income stream. Stop working only for money. Make your money work for you. Click the friends and family link in the description and check out replaceyourincome.com. $1, 1 month. Decide for yourself.
Our women want to follow us. Our women want to humble themselves to us. Our women want us to be the leaders that they need. But God created the black woman out of power. And God created the black woman. She is so constituted,
God created the black woman out of man. If you're going to say God and you're going to reference the Bible, where did that power come from? This goes back to the video of with all the zesty dudes in Clifton Powell. If you want to uplift black women, cool. But when y'all deify our women, they don't want you to pedestalize them like that. I know that they say that they do, but they actually are turned off by that. They want strength. They want a man that they can respect. So when you deify and say power and God and this, that, and the third, and you making her sound stronger than what you're supposed to be, this is by design. This is what happens when the majority of you are raised by single mothers who had to be strong, independent, don't need no man. Do y'all not see the issue with this?
so well constituted, even in her trauma, that a black woman cannot bow to a black man who is not stronger than she is. A black woman can only yield to a man who's stronger than her.
Let's hear what Steve Harvey has to say real quick on this blame black men brigade.
See, these dudes kill me. That's what's wrong with this generation today. These young boys today, what do she bring to the table? The hell you mean, man? What do your ass bring to the table? You got a woman that can come to the table that can make another you.
And she can't do that without the man's sperm. This is what I don't understand. The deification. We're acting like we're human beings. We were both created and we were made to be together. Like what do you mean? What does she bring to the table? She can make another you. Yes, and she needs my sperm to do it.
What else she need to slide up to the table with?
So all she needs to bring to the table is her ability to give birth. That's it. Okay. All right.
What about your job? What happened to men who were supposed to be responsible? Do you know that it's our job to take care of a woman and some children, to have a family? That's our damn job.
So our job is to take care of a woman and some children. He didn't even say his children or our children. He said some children. So then the woman's job is just to create the children and then we take care of everything. Isn't she supposed to take care of the children too? Isn't she supposed to feed the children, cook for the children? Because that's not in the Bible. The Bible says that the woman's job is to be the helpmate to the man. But I forgot that we pick and choose and be selective when we want to reference God. Now, not all, but a lot of women have the mindset of this young lady who's about to speak. And this is who we're supposed to provide and protect for. This is who we're not supposed to ask, what does she bring to the table? We're supposed to just accept her as she is. This young lady is about to speak about why mandatory DNA testing is a terrible idea. Let's go.
I've said before that a law making mandatory DNA testing at birth is a terrible idea, but men decided they wanted to argue with me, so I'm going to readdress the issue. Mandatory paternity testing at birth is a terrible idea. If you choose to get a paternity test at birth, that's on you. I truly do not care. Mandatory is the key word here. Mandatory DNA testing would mean that every child born into the United States, plus both of their parents, would need to be tested at birth. We're not seeing why that's a bad idea? One, that's going to lead to the government storing our genetic data. They're not going to take every single American's genetic info and just throw it away.
Do you think they don't already have? They want your genetic info. They're going to get it regardless. And they probably already have it anyway.
Two, imagine a man cheats on his wife, God forbid, with a teenager. What do you think he's going to do to her when he realizes she's pregnant and he...
God forbid with a teenager. So automatically a man is a cheater, cheating on his wife. And God forbid he does it with a teenager. So now he's a cheater and a PDF file. What about when the woman or when the wife cheats on her husband? And that's the reason why the DNA testing is mandatory in the first place, Miss Bitch.
Has to do a DNA test. But we don't care about endangering women or children's lives, right? I know. And three, who gonna pay for it? Because the government sure isn't. And I'm not paying to get a DNA test because you too scared to ask your baby mama for a paternity test. The real solution here that a lot of people don't want to hear is to stop having sex with people you don't want to create a family with.
Just say you don't want women to have to be accountable for this and just call it a day. Why are we even talking about this? Lady, all you're trying to do is avoid accountability for the women. I do agree with your last point. People shouldn't have sex with people they don't want to have a baby with, which is true. But this is why we need the DNA test, because people are going to do that. And when it comes to women and having babies, they can lie about who that person is they did it with. That is the whole point of mandatory DNA test, because in most situations, these people are married and they have no reason to believe their wife is out sleeping with somebody else. So it isn't about being scared. You just don't know. She even tried to say, what if a man who was married had a baby by another woman? And let's say the other woman was a teenager. What do you think he's going to do to her? Number one, you're talking about something that's not going to happen a lot. I'm talking about men sleeping with teenagers when they're married. That is a very small percentage of men doing that. And just to be clear, if that teenage girl went in there and said he's the father of the baby, he's going to be tested if it's mandatory or not, because she is basically accusing him of having sex with a minor. A mandatory DNA test just means they're going to test the man that she's claiming to be the father, the child, and the mother. That's it. They're not gonna just go around testing random men. So if the woman never claims a man to be the father, he won't be tested. The only thing this is going to prevent is the man who she claims to be the father from walking around believing that he is the biological father of that child. That's the only thing this is going to do. So you can miss me with that whole argument. And the whole government is gonna steal our DNA thing is ridiculous. If you don't believe they have access to our DNA right now, you are out of your mind. Between hospital visits and all the blood work we get over the years, they already got everything they need, ma'am. So you can throw that out the window too. So let's just call it what it is. You don't want women to have to be accountable for their decision, and you're coming up with every way you can to try to defend this. But I hate to tell you, ma'am, it is not working. It is just making me think that you've pulled this stunt before, or you know somebody who pulled this stunt before, and y'all don't want anybody stopping the infinite money glitch and this mental and emotional chokehold that y'all have had over men for hundreds of years.
Yeah, and I'm gonna end the content right there. But again, I didn't watch the full version of that video, so he pretty much said everything that I said, and that just goes to show you the mindset of most men when it comes to that. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about this.
If I had a machine that could travel through time, I would go back some years with a Mac and a 9, 2 Uzis with a few grenades in my hand, 8Ks, HKs, more Ks than the Klan. That's fuck racist. A nigga gonna do against me with a musket. I'm talking about them days they would stone you in public. You probably go back in time to meet Jesus Christ. I'd ask Jesus for help to steal Judas Ice. Amen.
You got music, you got a business, you got a product or service, but you're not making enough money off of it because you don't have enough exposure. DM or email me right now to get promoted on my platforms. I have 850,000 subscribers on YouTube. I have 460,000 followers on Instagram. I have the following that you want to get seen in front of. I was able to increase the sales of this Amazon book off of a YouTube sponsorship with just 30,000 views. And I was able to give this artist 15,000 views with the Instagram repost in less than 24 hours. So DM or email me at bookingcranklucas@gmail.com right now to get more exposure and more money for your business.